So we've covered NIST in depth across the last three videos, and today I'm going to zoom all the way out because NIST isn't the only framework shaping the conversation, and organizations that are taking AI governance seriously are looking at a much broader landscape. And I'm going to spend real time on something most governance conversations aren't accounting for yet, or at least I haven't heard them. Let me give you my honest take on the frameworks that matter right now and what each one actually gives you. High trust. This one solves a problem that others don't. It gives you a certification, independent validation that your AI security controls are real and tested, not just documented. I think I've said that before. There's up to 44 prescriptive controls as of today, built specifically for AI, mapped across NIST, ISO, and OWASP. Less than 1% of high trust certified environments reported a breach over the last 2 years. NIST tells you what to do, high trust proves you did it. For a CISO presenting AI security posture to a board, a regulator, or an enterprise customer, that distinction matters more than most people realize until they're in that room. Now, on the certification front, something that just came across my radar that I want to flag honestly. I just found out about this and I'm still digging into it a bit, but it's worth your attention right now to mention. And that's the AIUC. They're building what they're calling the world's first standard specifically for AI agents, the AIUC 1. What makes this different from high trust and everything else we've covered so far is that specific combination. It's not just a certification standard. They're pairing it with actual insurance coverage for enterprise customers. An AI company certifies their agent against AIUC 1 and then backs that certification with insurance. So if an AI agent failure causes business loss, the enterprise customer is financially protected. That's really interesting. And I want you to think about what that unlocks. Procurement teams, legal teams, risk committees, the people currently blocking AI agent adoption because they can't quantify the liability. A certification plus an insurance policy is really a fundamentally different trust signal than a simple compliance checklist. MITRE Atlas is already a technical contributor to the standard, and they just raised a $15 million seed round. So I want to dig into this more before I give you a full take, but the concept is directionally important. I don't see anyone else addressing certification plus financial risk transfer for AI agents right now, and it's worth watching very closely. Let's talk about OWASP. The OWASP Top 10 for LLM applications is the most practically useful document for any security team building on top of AI. Prompt injection, insecure output handling, training, data poisoning, excessive agency. Go look at your AppSec program and ask whether AI specific testing is in there. And chances are it's likely not. OWASP is where you start. And I'm going to come back to OWASP in a moment because they've done something significant specifically for agentic AI. The CSA AI Controls Matrix. There's 243 control objectives across 18 security domains mapped to ISO 42001, the NIST AI RMF, and ISO 27001. Vendor agnostic, built specifically for cloud based AI. Now, if your org is running AI in the cloud and your controls framework doesn't account for it, you have to pull this document. 2 hours against it will surface gaps your existing framework probably isn't catching at the moment. Now, I want to flag something that I think is the most important development in AI governance right now, and the one that, in my opinion, is most consistently underestimated. Every framework we have covered in this series was written before agentic AI became a mainstream enterprise reality. The cyber AI profile acknowledges this gap. Now, the AI RMF doesn't fully address it yet. And the reason that matters is that agentic AI is not just a more capable version of generative AI. It's a fundamentally different governance problem. When an AI agent can take autonomous actions, right, invoke APIs, write and execute code, send communications, trigger workflows, delegate tasks to other agents, the attack surface isn't just the model anymore. It's every system that AI agent can touch, every permission that it holds, every action it can take without a human in the loop. Now, the way I read the current standards landscape is that the industry knows this and is scrambling to catch up. Just look at the number of companies that were launching at RSA. NIST launched the AI Agent Standards Initiative in February 2026 specifically to address this, and that's building standards for agent security, agent identity, and agent interoperability. OWASP has released a top 10 for agentic AI applications separately from the LLM top 10 because the risk profile is different enough to warrant its own framework. And AIUC 1, which we just covered, is building the certification and insurance layer on top of all of it. These are all early stage. None of them are finalized. And that's the honest reality of where agentic AI governance sits right now. The standards are forming, the frameworks are catching up. The organizations deploying agentic AI today are operating ahead of the governance coverage that currently exists. Now, that's not a reason to stop. It's just a reason to be deliberate. Build your AI agent inventory, define what permissions each each agent holds, establish human in the loop checkpoints for high consequence actions, and watch the standard space closely, because what doesn't fully exist today will be a compliance and contractual requirement much sooner than most people expect. All right, one more, and I'm going to keep it tight. The EU AI Act is the first comprehensive legal framework for AI anywhere in the world. It categorizes AI by risk level and applies strict requirements to high risk systems. That's hiring, credit scoring, healthcare, critical infrastructure, transparency requirements, human oversight mandates, and data governance obligations. Now, here's what the US organizations are consistently getting wrong: it applies everywhere, right? That's EU customers, EU employees, AI outputs used anywhere in the EU. This regulation is going to apply to you. This is the GDPR lesson all over again. Get legal and compliance into your AI governance program if they're not already at the table. The enforcement timeline is getting pretty real, and the organizations preparing now are not going to be scrambling when it lands. So, there's three things I want you to do this week. That's one, I want you to add the OWASP LLM top 10 and the OWASP Agentic AI top 10 to your AppSec testing requirements. If your developers are building on AI and these are not in your security testing process, that's going to be the first gap to close. Answer the agentic AI question for your organization. What agents are running in your environment right now, today? What actions can they take? What systems can they touch? Who owns them? If you can't answer those questions, that's your starting point. I want you to look at the AIUC.com. Now, I'm not ready to give you a full endorsement because I just found out about it. But if the combination of agent certification and insurance plays out the way it looks, whew, that's going to matter for how your procurement and legal teams approach AI agent adoption, and it's going to matter really quickly. So, we're 4 videos in, and we've covered so far the full governance landscape. The next video is going to be the series finale. I'm going to wrap everything up. I'll tell you where your organization should focus first, and I share what Z Cyber has been building to make all of this manageable. You're definitely going to want to see that one. See you in the next one.